Football League. Today, it's the San Diego Chargers versus the Denver Broncos.
The usual sellout crowd at Mile High Stadium on a sunny but cool Rocky Mountain afternoon as two AFC West rivals get together, the Broncos and Chargers. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mile High Stadium. Tom Hammond with Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath. And Joe, so far the Broncos 2-1, the Chargers winless, and the play of the team's pretty much reflecting the play of the quarterbacks.
Oh, no doubt about it. You take Denver. John Elway's playing about at his top level, I think. He's got new enthusiasm because he's calling his own plays and he's running things on the field. His offensive line is still questionable. On the other side, John Freeze, a second-year player. He's honing his skills as he's moving along. However, today there's a major edge for Denver in that Freeze has not been in an arena like this. He's not confronted this kind of sound level, so it's a new experience for John Freeze, and I don't think these guys from San Diego are going to be able to overcome Denver because Denver's playing awful well right now, Tom.
And the series, going way back to AFL days, finds the Broncos with a narrow lead, 31-30-1. They won the last meeting 20-10. It's been a long time since the Chargers have won at Mile High. Treadwell's kickoff to Elder of San Diego. Elder finds a seam in the coverage and takes it across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Here's a look now at the San Diego starting offense, 5th in the NFL on the run. That's a young offensive line keyed by Courtney Hall, now back at center after playing guard last season. Freeze makes his 5th NFL start today. He has yet to win. He's completed 48% of his passes. Now, Anthony Miller has a sore hamstring, so rookie Sean Jefferson starts. Bernstein averaging over 5 yards a carry. And the Chargers posse formation gets the third down specialist Ronnie Harmon in the game. John Freeze under center. Fake to Bernstein, and Freeze will pass on first down, and he completes the pass to Nate Lewis. A first down catch as John Freeze puts it up on first down. Lewis beating Henderson for the catch. Here's the Denver defense, 13th in the NFL, 6th against the run. Up front, Cragen usually occupies a couple of blockers. Four-time Pro Bowler Mecklenburg has been in the hospital with gastritis. Rookies Traylor and Kroll also start at linebacker. In the secondary, Atwater is AFC Defensive Player of the Week. And when the Broncos employ their nickel, Mecklenburg and Fletcher become rushers. Dimry and Robbins give them 6 DBs. First down play for the Chargers. First run, Rod Bernstein pops it outside and breaks a couple of tackles, dragging his way into Bronco territory and close to a first down. Nearly 10 yards on Bernstein's first carry before Dennis Smith drags him down. Bernstein makes a nice cut. The flow will go to the left. Watch Bernstein cut back now to his left, break a tackle, and then take it upfield. Excellent running. The man's been averaging 5 yards a carry. That time it was just a good break. The Denver defense saw that flow, flowed in that area, and Bernstein cut back nicely. There's that average, 5.2 a carry. Bernstein starting in place of Marion Butts, who was a holdout, but now back in full form. Hit and dropped Bernstein that time as Ron Holmes got penetration from his defensive end spot to stop San Diego for a loss of about 5 yards on the play. Well, you see, Holmes just came down the line hard. As soon as he saw that offensive tackle pull, Holmes will come off his tail on the right side of your screen. Number 90 just follows that offensive tackle, and gosh, he's 3 yards deep in the backfield. San Diego has to find a way to slow down that offside rush, the backside rush of Holmes. 2nd and 15 now. This is what John Freeze said he did not want, to be put in an obvious passing situation where Denver can throw all sorts of confusing things at him. Walker is in motion. Give to the tailback Bernstein, and the Broncos were ready for it. He got maybe a yard on the play as Carl Mecklenburg and Keith Traylor, the 2 inside linebackers of the Broncos, met Bernstein right after he got the handoff. Oh, Mecklenburg's tough. I mean, he steps right up in there, makes the contact, doesn't lose his balance. Look at his shoulder he puts in there and still makes the play. The guy's, what, he's been on intravenous food or being fed this week. He's been very weak with the flu and hasn't practiced much yet. His leadership out there, even if it's for a few plays at a time, is very important for these Broncos. Mecklenburg in the hospital with gastritis as recently as Friday night. 3rd and long. Freeze throws underneath to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon takes it out, working his way forward for a first down. Great run by Ronnie Harmon. Randy Robbins had him by the jersey about 3 yards short, and he was able to twist his way close to the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot right here.
On the left side of the screen, number 33, Ronnie Harmon, is not covered. I'm surprised at this. Boy, to me, he's one of the best in the league at taking that ball, running with it, blocking. I mean, he's outstanding. I'm surprised that Denver didn't have someone pinned to Mr. Harmon. You know, there's only one football that could be passed around, but boy, if there was a way of getting the ball to Ronnie Harmon more, you'd see some more fireworks, I promise you.
He had 26 first downs on 46 receptions during the 1990 season. They're going to measure to see if he got the first down. It was very close, and Dan Henning will be faced with a decision if they're short, and Henning has been the subject of all sorts of rumors about losing his job, but so far everyone in San Diego says it's secure.
Well, I think Henning got a bad spot that time. I thought the ball was a little bit closer to the first down marker there. He's going to go for it, it appears, Tom. Coach Henning too far from field goal range for Carney, the kicker. And with this opportunity, I'm sure he feels he wants to give it to one of his big backs, hit in there, and maybe make the first down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action here like we did on first down earlier by Freeze.
All right, it's fourth down and about a yard for the San Diego Chargers on their first possession of the game. Walker in motion. Bernstein pounding ahead for the first down all the way to the 35-yard line. Simon Fletcher and Randy Robbins holding on for dear life as Rod Bernstein, 6'3", 240 pounds, carried tacklers with him.
Off the right side behind Richards, the guard, and Broderick Thomas. Look at that. He hits in there nicely. Now, these Chargers, they're 0-3, folks, but they've got no quit in them. Talking with Coach Henning yesterday, he feels these guys are giving it their all. It's early in the season. They're up here to beat Denver. They're not up here to lose this game, so they're going to be out there giving Denver one whale of a time.
First down from the 35. Freeze. Oh, pass too long for Nate Lewis. Lewis had gotten behind Wayman Henderson, but Freeze couldn't find him.
Yeah, there was a little hole back there for John Freeze to get the ball in. Yesterday, John told us he wasn't pleased with his accuracy at this point. He's making the right decisions, going to the right areas for the most part. But the big difference for John Freeze and any young quarterback is the tempo. Things speed up. There are 100 things going through your head, the formations, the plays, the defenses, and you're just not going to play as well in your first year as you're going to in your fourth or fifth.
And accuracy has never been a problem for Freeze before. He set 24 school records at Idaho. Man wide open, and he hits him. That's Derek Walker, and Walker with a first down. No, they say out of bounds, no good. Now they say Walker did not get in bounds.
Well, we'll take another look at it. He has to have possession of the ball and both feet down inbounds. Possession of the ball, both feet down inbounds. One, I couldn't see that left leg, whether it hit inbounds or out.
Looked to me as if it were out, and he was wide open. Do you give Freeze the blame for that one, the pass carrying his wide open receiver out of bounds?
I think Walker just got caught in an awkward position. I don't know why he's leaving his feet here in the first place. Kind of leaves his feet and jumps for the ball a little bit, and then loses, I guess, where he is close to the sideline. Bad play by the receiver.
No review of that play. It's third down. Harmon tried to block, and then the pass knocked in the air and intercepted. Intercepted by Simon Fletcher on the tipped ball. Harmon was supposed to block and then head to the flat. Freeze tried to find him. The ball tipped into the air. There's a penalty marker on the play.
Delay a game, offense, there is no play.
Sometimes it pays to make a mistake.
Hey, I'll tell you, that was a good break. San Diego had a fine play set up that time. I mean, that flow of the Broncos came over here. Freeze did a great acting job. The Broncos made a sensational play in deflecting the pass that Freeze had thrown.
Prior to the snap on the offensive team. The down did not count. Still third down.
Well, there's the call from the official, Larry Nemmers. And so Reeves sees a would-be interception go by the boards.
You see the flow. All these Broncos are coming in on John Freeze. Off to the right of the screen, there's not a Bronco, and Freeze has a receiver over there. Now, oh, my goodness, that Atwater gets his hands up there and deflects that pass.
3rd and 15 for the Chargers from the 40 of the Broncos. Again, the pass knocked down, this time tipped by Ron Holmes and incomplete.
That's excellent defense. Excellent defense by Ron Holmes, who in his first series is showing something. This time, Holmes lines up on the left side of the offensive line to try and confuse the offense, I guess, a bit. Leaps in the air. Again, Freese had an open receiver, Tom, and I believe that it gained some yardage and maybe gotten in field goal range had Holmes not made that fine play.
So John Kidd is into punt for the Chargers, averaging 43.3 a kick. And Ricky Nattiel stands on his own 10 as Kidd will try to just pooch punt it, try to down it somewhere inside the 20. High in the air. Nattiel fakes the fair catch. The ball bounds into the end zone for the touchback. Chargers unable to down it before it went into the end zone. So the Broncos on their first possession will start from their own 20 in a scoreless first quarter. First quarter at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos have the ball for the first time after the Chargers moved it, but were unable to get any points on the board. Here's a look at the Broncos starting offensive unit, ranked 5th overall in the NFL. Center Keith Karts, John Elway's personal bodyguard, heads the offensive line. Elway trails only Jim Kelly in AFC quarterback ratings and has not thrown an interception over the last 4 games. Green has done a pretty good job of filling in for holdout Bobby Humphrey. And the Denver ace formation features 2 tight ends as Johnson replaces Perryman. And the give is to Gaston Green. Big hole for Green. Fumbled the football. The Chargers cover it, but was he down before the fumble? I don't think so. Still no signal from the officials. San Diego ball. Gaston Green fumbles on Denver's first offensive play of the game.
Green had a pretty nice roll. Holder run up in there. Dan Reeves certainly doesn't like to see a turnover. That's what his team's been doing well, getting the ball from the other team. Gaston Green will cut back. I believe Plummer's going to make the initial hit back here and maybe jar the ball loose. On the left side of your screen, number 50, Plummer gets his hand in there. But no, it's the hit by Bayless, I believe, that jars the ball loose.
And then the ball scooped up by George Hinkle. There's Hinkle covering it right there. And San Diego with the game's first turnover. The ball first down inside the 30 of the Broncos. Play action pass. Freeze. Incomplete. The pass too low for the rookie Sean Jefferson, who had cut to the inside of Tyrone Braxton.
Wow, would he like to have that one back? I'm talking about Sean Jefferson was wide open down the middle of the field, outran the corner. Freeze got some excellent blocking up front from Bernstein, but then John Freeze just didn't get the ball out far enough for Jefferson to even have a chance at it. Bad underthrow that time. Jeez.
So Freeze, out of Idaho, 6th round draft choice last year, still struggling, and so are the Chargers. Here's the I formation. Bernstein is the tailback and gets the handoff. Dodges one man, falls forward to the 22-yard line, tripped up finally by Randy Robbins. Let's take a look now at our Schick Tracer 10-minute ticker. As the Giants barely outlast the Browns, Bill Belichick's homecoming. Miami gave Don Shula his 300th career win. Philadelphia came from behind to beat Pittsburgh. Houston trailed 17-6 at one time, but Warren Moon has hit Curtis Duncan with 2 fourth-quarter passes, and the unbeaten Oilers have the lead. Washington stays unbeaten and Cincinnati winless, and Atlanta leading the Raiders. We'll have more scores in a moment. Freeze dumps it off short, incomplete, intended for Derek Walker. The linebacker Simon Fletcher covering as we check the other scores. New Orleans still unbeaten, blanking Minnesota, Broncos next opponent, and Detroit leading in Indianapolis. Here are the late starting games. No score in Tampa. The 49ers with an early field goal, and Seattle and Kansas City also scoreless. Scoreless too here at Mile High Stadium, but John Carney trying to take care of that. He'll attempt a field goal. It'll be a 41-yard attempt for Carney, as you see. 1 of 4 from this range. Carney's kick is good. So the San Diego Chargers take advantage of the Bronco fumble to bounce in front 3-0.
And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Tom Hammond and Joe Namath from Mile High Stadium, where the crowd, the sellout crowd, which is the normal 166 straight now, counting today, silent after San Diego takes advantage of the Denver fumble to take a 3-0 lead. Beautiful football afternoon. Started out cloudy in Denver today, but the sun out now and the temperature still up close to 60 degrees. Into the end zone, Alton Montgomery will down it there, and the Broncos once again start from their own 20-yard line. Dan Reeves sees a turnover cost his team 3 points early. And he told us yesterday that letting John Elway call his own plays has really given John new enthusiasm. He said he mentioned it to Elway in the preseason. John said he'd think about it, decided to give it a try in the preseason games. And Reeves said he could really tell the difference in practice, that the staleness, the boredom was gone from John Elway. He was enthused again, and he's playing very well. Elway told us yesterday, Joe, that he thinks he's throwing the ball as well as he ever has, and he has gone now 100 plus 118 attempts without an interception. Steve Sewell in the backfield now. And the handoff to Gaston Green, who's fumbled on his first possession and is stopped way behind the line by Leslie O'Neal for a loss on his second carry.
Oh, that is awesome. Leslie O'Neal, coming from the right side of the screen, shoots across there and gets a big arm up around the neck of Green, and down he goes about 4 yards deep in the backfield. I'm just sure somebody was supposed to be on Leslie O'Neal that time. Excellent play.
The San Diego Charger defense is a sleeping giant. One of the best in the league last year, one of the worst this season. In fact, the worst, but with potential. That pass bobbled and dropped finally by Green. So Gaston Green on his first carry fumbled, on his second carry stopped for a loss, and on his third fumbles a pass in the flat. Big story today, an upset. Look at this from our 10-minute ticker. The New England Patriots hand the Oilers their first defeat of the season. Hugh Millen, who got the start at quarterback today, hit Greg McMurtry with a 34-yard pass with 6 seconds left for the Patriot upset.
For the Patriots' second win of the season, I might add, huh?
Who would have thought it? Four wide receivers in for the Denver Broncos on 3rd and 14. Elway steps up and delivers complete to Jackson, and Mark Jackson has a first down. The Broncos' initial first down of the game. Linebacker Henry Rolling finally caught up to him, but stopped him after a first down reception.
Talking with Joe Phillips yesterday, he said somebody has to spy over there on Elway. He's liable to break it up in there and gain big yardage. That time, Elway showed us his maneuverability. He bought some time moving up into the pocket, and then he found Mark Jeez, take it easy, Joe. I'm so excited, folks. Mark Jackson.
That's that New England upset that got you so
excited. Yes.
21 yards on that completion to Jackson, Elway's first completion. Gaston Green, the tailback, gets only a couple of yards to the Bronco 40, where he's stopped by Junior Seau. Now, Seau, in talking to us yesterday, had a pretty stern indictment of his defensive teammates. He said the guys on this defensive unit, especially some of the younger guys, weren't committed to doing the extra things it took to make the defense work. He said last year, in my rookie year, I wasn't committed. I recognize it now. And he said we have to lead by example. We have to all go the extra distance it takes to make this defense work. And he says he thought that they had aired that out and that had turned themselves around for this game. Play action pass. Elway rolls and completes it into Charger territory. Jackson with his second catch, and Sam Seal makes the tackle.
That's John Elway at his best, getting that ball down to Jackson. Watch Elway. He'll be moving right. He'll throw this ball on the run, and, folks, he throws a strike. Look at this. Right there on the numbers to Jackson. Beautiful play. Seal couldn't do much about that. Jackson beat him across the field. That's just all good offense on behalf of Elway and the Broncos.
Well, Henning knows his offense is young, so the defense has to carry them. We asked him, why hasn't the defense been better? He said, I don't know. I read the book, and I don't know the ending, but if the defense doesn't get better, we aren't going to win. Green, blocker kicks out, and Green cuts back to the 40-yard line of the Chargers, where he's tackled by Gary Plummer. There is Dan Henning. the embattled coach of the San Diego Chargers. He does have the support of his general manager, Bobby Beathard, though, and his job is said to not be in jeopardy. We asked him about the distraction of everyone speculating on his job. He says, you learn to tune it out. The only distraction is answering that question every day.
And they are asking it every day.
Broncos moving the football. 2nd and 7 from the Charger 40. San Diego up 3-0. Elway looked to his 3rd receiver and found him wide open. And another Bronco first down. Ricky Natil, I believe, makes his first catch. Or is it? No, it's Michael Young. Michael Young with his first catch of the day, and he's been the Broncos' leading receiver so far this season.
The top right of your screen, Michael Young will come into play, and then he'll cut back. You see, he loses Bird right there. He changed his pass route. He saw he didn't have an opening, so he stopped and let Bird keep running. Nice play by Michael Young, and here's Junior Seau following the play, and he's not going to get in there. It's downfield too far, and there's just no one around Seau.
Bronco first down at the 24-yard line. Gaston Green inside the 25 to the 24, a gain of 1. Henry Rolling on the tackle for the San Diego Chargers, Rolling the leading tackler through 3 games so far for San Diego.
This Denver offense struggled late last week against Seattle because Seattle blitzed them so much. The offensive line of Denver really hasn't played together as a unit. This is the 2nd straight game now. But the man that's pulling the trigger, John Elway, is playing extremely well.
2 tight ends, Kay and Johnson in for the Broncos. 2nd and 10. Across the middle, the pass is complete to Robert Perryman. And Perryman for a gain of about 8 before tackled by Gary Plummer. Let's set that San Diego defense for you now. Phillips back at the nose after missing most of last season with injuries sustained in a fight. Grossman, the sack specialist, and those linebackers, Rolling, Plummer, Seau, and O'Neal as good as any. Gil Bird with 34 career interceptions leads the secondary. And in the Charger Pirate defense, Elder and Frank replace Phillips and Plummer for 6 defensive backs. 3rd and 3 for Elway. Green, the only setback. Jackson in motion. For the end zone, Elway overshoots his intended receiver.
John would like to have that one back. Clarence Kay ran a nice corner pattern that time. Elway had him open and overthrew him. You see Bayless in a chase position. Believe me, he's beaten there, and Elway just gets the ball up over his head. Take a look at Elway and see his reaction. He knows he put a little too much air underneath it.
Joe Phillips was putting the pressure on Elway, so on 4th down, David Treadwell is on to attempt to tie the game. This field goal attempt will be about 34 yards. And the kick is true. So David Treadwell from 34 yards out ties the game. We're 3-3. Broncos and Chargers in the first. Chargers and the Broncos have traded field goals with 3:42 left in the first quarter. David Treadwell will kick to the deep men, Lewis and Elder. And it will be Elder that downs it in the end zone. Well, don't forget, coming up next Sunday, NFL football action here on NBC, starting with the NFL Live show at 3:30 Eastern Time. Here are the games. Kansas City against San Diego as the Chargers return home. Miami against the New York Jets, and Indianapolis against Seattle. NFL Live kicks it all off at 3:30 next Sunday here on NBC. First down for the Chargers from their own 20-yard line. Marion Butts makes his first appearance in the San Diego lineup. He's a tailback and gets the handoff. Marion Butts, who was the leading rusher in the NFL last year before being injured late in the season, was selected to the Pro Bowl and set a San Diego record with 1,225 yards. And led the NFL in rushing until he injured his foot in week 14, ironically, against the Denver Broncos. Marion Butts with 5 yards on that carry. That's below his average, Joe.
I know. Averaging 6 a carry.
in this, the third game of the season. Freeze with a pass on target and complete to Nate Lewis. And Lewis across the 30 for a San Diego first down, where he's tackled by Fletcher and Braxton.
Freeze, beautiful pass out there to Lewis this time. Has the accuracy. As he mentioned earlier, we're surprised at John Freeze. Freeze is surprised at himself for missing open receivers because accuracy has never been a problem of his before. I look for kind of first down play action pass. The first series of downs, that's what San Diego did, and completed a good play.
Walker comes in at the H-back. Cox tight end also. And Cox in motion. As Marion Butts takes the handoff, is hit immediately and falls forward to the 35-yard line. And got a couple of yards. The rookie, Keith Traylor, the third-round draft choice out of Central Oklahoma, makes the tackle for the Broncos. And the two rookie linebackers, Traylor and Kroll, Joe, have been doing a good job for Denver.
Oh, yes, and Traylor, number 54, he carries 260 pounds to go along with that speed and strength. They're really impressed with his play.
2nd and 7 for the Chargers. Cox again goes in motion. Coming with a blitz. It's picked up, but Butts only gets a yard or so. Carl Mecklenburg tripping up Marion Butts. Well, next weekend, we invite you to witness all the drama and emotion of a great golf tradition as NBC Sports presents live coverage of the Ryder Cup from the brand new Ocean Course on Kiowa Island, South Carolina. You'll see the 1991 U.S. Open champion Payne Stewart, the always steady Paul Eisinger, and they'll be leading the USA against Europe's best, including Seve Ballesteros and Ian Woosnam. That's the Ryder Cup next weekend here on NBC. Our producer Larry Cirillo heading to South Carolina to do duty on the Ryder Cup. Freeze threw it too soon. Lewis wasn't looking when the pass sailed his way. Charles Demry had a hand on his jersey, but the pass will fall incomplete.
Well, Lewis needs to look. He needs to get his head around because it's a blitz situation. If Lewis has his head around, he might have that ball. And I might add that Demry got away with a little hold that time. The officials certainly could have called Demry for holding Lewis as he got his right hand on the back of his jersey.
Kid's first punt was 40 yards, although it made its way into the end zone for the touchback. Ricky Nateel deep for the Broncos. Nateel standing at his own 20-yard line. 3-3 game in the closing minute of the first quarter. Short punt by Kidd. Nateel runs up and fair catches it at the 31-yard line. Short punt by John Kidd gives the Broncos pretty good field position in the final minutes of the first. Ready to start the second quarter with the Chargers and the Broncos locked up in a 3-3 tie. Welcome back. Isn't it funny how things come full circle sometimes? The trend in the NFL lately seems to be to have the quarterbacks call their own signals, just as Joe Namath used to do. John Elway is doing that today, and Joey has a little cheat sheet that he attaches to his arm.
Right, this wristband holds a piece of paper that gives you information like first down and 10, second and short, third and short, and a series of plays. This fits right in here. It doesn't have every play in the playbook, but it has a lot of situations. You can see it on John Elway's left wrist.
Elway off to a good start in this game as he hands to Gaston Green. He hit the hole quickly and then it closed up on him. Still, it's good for about 4 yards before Junior Seau puts the clamps on Gaston Green. Seau from Southern California and Gaston Green from UCLA, the old rivals across town in L.A.
John Elway and his offense is playing pretty darn well, actually. It's a San Diego defense that's been breaking coverages in the secondary. They haven't been playing up to par. They've been hurting themselves more than the opposition's offense.
Could be the final play of the first quarter. Delayed handoff to Gaston Green, and Leslie O'Neal penetrating and taking him for a loss of 3 yards. O'Neal having a good first quarter as the seconds will tick off to end the first period of play. And that's the end of the first quarter of play at Mile High Stadium, with the Chargers and Broncos tied at 3 apiece. First quarter in the books at Mile High Stadium, and here are the first quarter stats. Chargers, as expected, with a lead in rushing, and the Broncos tops in passing. Slight edge for the Chargers in time of possession. Pretty even stats, pretty even score. 3-3. Elway from the shotgun. Third down play. Evades one rusher. And Seau catches up to him and takes him down short of the first down. In fact, short of the line of scrimmage. Leslie O'Neal made the first pass at Elway. John was able to evade him, but not Junior Seau.
Leslie O'Neal, 91, going against Jeff Davidson, 62. He gets around the back door and disrupts Elway, gets his hand on him. Now, Elway cannot get away from Junior Seau as Seau shows the speed that he's blessed with. Leslie O'Neal made that play happen.
So Mike Horan, who's been struggling, is on to punt on 4th down for the Broncos. And Nate Lewis is the deep man for the Chargers. High kick by Horan as Lewis calls for a fair catch at his own 32-yard line. Now let's check our ITT 10-minute ticker for an update on all the scores. The Giants barely outlasting the Browns. Number 300 for Shula. Philadelphia with a come-from-behind victory. New England with 6 seconds left on a Hugh Millen pass pulls off a gigantic upset. First loss for the Oilers this season. Washington still unbeaten. Cincinnati still winless. New Orleans blanking Minnesota, and another loss for Indianapolis. They haven't won a game. Is Ron Meyer going to still be the coach next week? Buffalo 7-0 on a Carwell Gardner touchdown run. The Rams leading, and Seattle and Kansas City tied. Horan's punt covered 39 yards, so pretty good field position for Marion Butts and the Chargers. But Butts taken down for a loss in the play. Jeff Mills from a linebacker spot into the game. Makes the tackle in his second year out of Nebraska. And Wade Phillips, the Broncos defensive coordinator, said they were going to try to pile up against the run. They did that here.
Well, they piled up this right side. Mecklenburg came around the corner and took out the lead blockers, and then the number 52, Jeff Mills, gets in there and makes the play. Defensive coordinator Wade Phillips knows that he's going against a young quarterback, and he's going to try and cross him up with a safety blitz every now and then of Atwater.
Want to force Freeze to throw and then try to confuse him as well. Put a lot of pressure on him. Marion Butts again hit behind the line and dropped for a further loss, again by Jeff Mills. Mills, the linebacker, getting into the game and coming through big time. He was a third-round draft choice of the Chargers last year.
Oh, he's getting his opportunity to play. Watch Mecklenburg here, and you'll see what happens when you got a reputation. There's a good block on him right now with excellent position by Derek Walker. And I don't know. I just don't think Mecklenburg's himself out there, Tom. He's got to be weak.
But Jeff Mills taking up some of the slack against his old team. He was waived by San Diego. Mills, the former All-Big 8 linebacker at Nebraska. And that's Marion Butts, who was shaken up by that good hit by Mills and company on the last carry.
Deep in the backfield, Moulton, number 77, couldn't open the hole, and it looks like Butts kind of gets twisted a bit.
Well, Butts, after holding out back to full speed, said Dan Henning, and now injured. We'll take a break.
Marion Butts just needs a little bit of room to get going, but he doesn't have any. He gets injured on this play, but he left the field under his own power, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the game.
3rd and 15 now for young John Freeze. Play action pass. Harmon on the screen. Blockers in front of Harmon, and he gets a good block. Harmon to the 40, dives one man, still on his feet, into Bronco territory and out of bounds. Inside the 45 of Denver, finally run out by Charles Dimry. Great screen pass. You can't execute it any better than that.
No, when they tried this earlier, Atwater knocked it down. This time it's good flow to the right. Now you don't see a defender over there by Ronnie Harmon. They all follow the flow. Excellent blocking downfield. Big Moulton getting downfield. Eric Moulton makes a nice block. Courtney Hall, just a beautifully designed and executed offensive play by the Chargers.
Courtney Hall wiped out Steve Atwater. It went for 31 yards to the third down specialist, Ronnie Harmon. Fake to Bernstein. Freeze in the pocket, delivers a strike. Maybe a little behind Lewis, but Lewis able to grab it for another Charger first down, just short of the 30, in front of the All-Pro Steve Atwater.
One of the best catches I've seen in a while. Atwater's playing loose in the secondary, fairly deep, trying to force Freeze to throw under him. Look at this turnaround and reach back by Nate Lewis. And I mean, that ball had some heat on it too, folks. Nate Lewis got his hands up there and made a terrific catch. 14-yard gain and a Charger first down. The Broncos shut down the running attack, and Freeze, though, moving them through the air. Bernstein on the sweep. Taps
was off 2 tacklers and still struggling forward, an 8-yard gain. Rod Bernstein with power running, finally dragged down by Tyrone Braxton. Would-be tacklers just bouncing off the big guy.
Oh, yes, Bernstein. He seems like he'd be a big target with his size. Watch where he carries that ball, too. He kind of keeps it flying around out there in his right arm. And Denver mentioned that they do want to try and jar that ball loose because he waves it around, he opens it up. But he's got second and third effort, was averaging 5 yards a carry before this game, and he seems to be right on schedule.
Bernstein was a running back at Texas A&M, then moved to tight end and led all the tight ends in the country in receptions one year. The tight end most of his pro career. Flag down as Walker juggles and then makes the reception. Knocked out of bounds at the 10 by Wyman Henderson, but it could be a hold against the Chargers. And that will be it.
Well, John Freeze hung in there, had what I thought was excellent pass protection, and probably one of the reasons is because of the hold.
Holding, number 88, offense, still second down.
Arthur Cox called for the hold on the right of you, right in front of you, right there on the rookie linebacker Kroll. You see, he's got a headlock on him, kind of. He's got his arms across there. Arthur Cox gets his right hand off him, trying to say, look, I'm not holding, ref, I'm not holding. But I believe the ref saw that left arm.
So now Henning sees his young quarterback Freeze in a must-pass situation. What he doesn't want, 2nd and 13. As Freeze told us yesterday, that accuracy problem could be helped by getting in a rhythm early. He's going for the end zone on this one. He's got a man wide open, but the pass is too long. Anthony Miller, who just came into the game, the speedster, despite the sore hamstring, streaked for the end zone. Ron Holmes was putting the pressure on Freeze, and the pass too long.
Accuracy again. You mentioned that Freeze might have been forced to throw a little bit early, but you see Anthony Miller with the bad hamstring and all still makes the separation and gets open back there. Freeze had time. He just missed him that time. My goodness. Ronnie Harmon, check out this block, folks. He's a runner, he's a catcher, and he is a blocker. Excellent position right in the middle of the rookie linebacker Kroll.
Give this to Ronnie Harmon as he shows his running ability now to the 25-yard line. It'll be short by 5 yards of the first down, and it'll be 4th for the Chargers.
Well, the penalty got the Chargers in trouble that time. This was a pretty good drive. Dan Henning, I think, has to be fairly pleased with what he's seen of his offense. However, if Freeze could get a little more accurate, you might say, that would be 2 touchdowns now that we've seen the Chargers miss. One early to Sean Jefferson and one to Miller just a play ago.
43-yard field goal attempt by Carney. He's hit his only attempt so far. And this one is also good. So 2 field goals by Carney have given the Chargers the lead in the second quarter over Denver.
By Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Tom Hammond and Joe Namath from Mile High Stadium. 6-3 San Diego lead as Carney is set to kick it off with Montgomery and Lewis deep for the Broncos. Carney's kick. Montgomery deep in the end zone will down it. And so the Broncos offensive unit comes back on, trailing again 6-3. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, our Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Bob, O.J., and Will in the studio in New York with all the scores and highlights in this 4th week of the NFL season. Bill Parcells not on hand in the studio, of course. The absence of Paul McGuire, still out with us plebeians in the field, doing a little analysis duty.
Plebeians?
I forgot where he was today. Do you know where Bill was today?
Bill? Maybe at the Giants Cleveland. That would have been a good one.
Elway's first down pass complete for a 5-yard gain to Gaston Green out of the backfield. He's then cranked to the turf by Seau and Plummer.
Yeah, good reaction by Junior Seau. Good reaction by Junior Seau on Elway's receiver that time. Bill Parcells, of course, what do you say, doing play-by-play with Pittsburgh, Philadelphia today, and Philadelphia came back. I'll bet you they got a few sacks on Bubby Brister.
I think Marv was doing the play-by-play. I think Bill was doing the commentary. Steve DeBerg has a touchdown pass in that Seattle-Kansas City game that hasn't shown up there. Here at 6-3, the Chargers leading the Broncos. Denver football. Gaston Green, not much. Tries the middle of that Charger defensive line, which is anchored by the nose tackle Joe Phillips. And Phillips is a story coming back after being injured in a fight, seriously injured, last year.
Phillips just fires off the ball. You see he got penetration already, and the rest of his teammates follow through there. That's just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage by Joe Phillips and his buddies in white.
He missed the last 13 weeks of the season after head injuries in that fight, and told us yesterday he still has some numbness in his face, double vision at times, but making a comeback, and he says he thinks he's playing as well as ever. Elway's Sewell has it, and Steve Sewell knocked out of bounds, and a flag comes flying. It's enough for a Bronco first down. Sam Seal gave him a pretty good bump out of bounds.
Oh, Seal laid a heck of a hit down that time on Sewell, but it looks like Denver's going to get called for a penalty here. Maybe a pick play, a little pushing in the secondary of one of those penalties.
Offensive interference.
Offensive pass interference, number 80. 10 yards, still third down.
Oh, Tom got a handle on the rules, huh? Boy, you picked right up on that signal. Number 80, Mark Jackson called for a little pick that enabled Sewell to get open in the flats.
And so what would have been a first down reception for Reeves' club now means it'll be 3rd and long for the Broncos. John Elway calling his own plays. About the only time he looks to the sideline for help for a prompt is on 3rd and short, which means this one he's called 3rd and 14. Nickel package, the Pirate defense on for San Diego. And the Chargers were offside, it looked. Or perhaps Lanier jumped too soon for the Broncos. Elway scrambling around just looking for safety. Goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Looking for safety, not for a safety.
Well, this is one of those plays that really hurts your defense. I don't know whether it's going to be offsides on Seau or not, but watch Leslie O'Neal. I mean, he's all over the place. This is the second quarter, and to go 4 quarters with this kind of effort, it's going to take a lot out of you, but Leslie O'Neal's got the conditioning. Look at this man run around, folks. I mean, he is big. He's a load at 6'4", 259.
Maybe that's that commitment that Junior Seau said was missing.
Number 55, still third down.
Seau called for the offside, which is a 5-yard penalty, giving the Broncos now 3rd and about 9 to go.
You know, it's worse than a 5-yarder, Tom. They had Elway out of bounds on his own 3-yard line. You jump off sides, over enthusiastic or whatever. I think it's lack of concentration. Those are the kind of things you have to eliminate to be a winning football team.
Seau, the man that was pointing his fingers at the teammates, the man making that mistake. Elway goes deep. Young can't get it. Donald Frank was running with Michael Young. Then he got some help from the safety as Leslie O'Neal again was right in the face of John Elway.
Well, Elway's not happy with himself. He's going to get pressured a little bit by Leslie O'Neal over here and maybe have to throw a hair early. But I don't believe that's the reason he missed Michael Young. I think John just overthrew him, and he knows it, and he's upset with missing Michael Young. Yeah, he had a big one there.
Horan to punt. And Nate Lewis draws a bead on it. Tries to get around one man and cannot. Taken out of bounds at the 46-yard line where the Chargers will have the ball. Greg Lewis on the tackle will return to Mile High after that 35-yard. The Broncos as yet not off and running, trailing San Diego 6-3, and the Chargers, if nothing else, have taken this sellout crowd out of the game. They've only averaged 2.9 yards a rush, but Freese has hit a couple of big passes. Here's Bernstein breaking through the line. Ron Bernstein all the way to the 35 of the Broncos. Ron Holmes finally tracked him down. Is that offensive line open? Bernstein a hole, and for a big guy, he was through it in a hurry.
89, Walker hits Mecklenburg and opens a nice hole for Bernstein to get up through there and into the secondary. Holmes makes the tackle all the way downfield. Watch right here. Walker's going to get a helmet on Mecklenburg and take him out of the play. A nice block by Derek Walker.
Mecklenburg perhaps suffering some effects of that gastritis as Bernstein rambles for 19 yards. Bernstein again through the center of the Bronco defense. Look at that offensive line. They're doing some good blocking all the way downfield, even though the play had been stopped. Keith Traylor was able to stack up Bernstein after a short gain on that one.
They're going right at Mecklenburg. They know he's weak. They know he's been in the hospital. They're going to test him, see how much he has out there, and I think that's a good philosophy. Sure, he's an all-pro, and he's probably their best defensive player, certainly one of them, but he's not himself. He's playing with whatever Tom called it a little while ago, gastritis.
2nd and 7 for the Chargers. Here comes the blitz. Freeze goes down. First sack of the day for the Bronco defense. Simon Fletcher and Mike Kroll sandwiching John Freeze.
Freeze appeared to be ready to release the ball, but Sean Jefferson wasn't looking. I'm not sure whether it's his responsibility to read, but here comes Mecklenburg pushing Richards back, but it's Fletcher coming from the outside. There was not one hat on Simon Fletcher. From the right of the screen, you see, he comes unblocked.
So the Broncos go with the blitz, and it turns into a big defensive play. 3rd and 11 now for the Chargers. Ronnie Harmon in the game, the lone setback. Fake to Harmon. Freeze. Intercepted. Intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. He had an interception for a 52-yard touchdown in Cincinnati in the opening game and had an interception for a touchdown against Kansas City in '89. He picks off this pass intended for Craig McEwen, and the Broncos have the turnover. Broncos trying to take advantage of the turnover, the first by the Chargers on the interception, and they have a first down at their own 35-yard line. Green goes in motion. Elway looks his way and then decides to get it to his tight end, Clarence Kay. Kay has an incomplete pass. He didn't make the catch. They rule it incomplete. Larry Plummer defending.
Let's watch Braxton's interception. On the right side of the screen, Braxton's going to chase, and you see Freeze throwing across his body. Look at Braxton stretch out there and get that pass. You mentioned, Tom, when we talked to Freeze yesterday, he mentioned the speed of Tyrone Braxton and these other cornerbacks and defensive safeties of the Broncos. More speed than Freeze has seen in the past.
And he said you just can't simulate that speed in practice, or of course naturally in college when he played in Idaho, and so it's all new to him. Here's a pass complete to Robert Perryman, who takes it to the 40-yard line, where he's tackled by Gil Byrd. Second catch of the day for Robert Perryman, who was picked up on Plan B from Dallas after he had been cut by the Patriots last year. In fact, let go even though he was a starting player at the time.
Well, there were some strange things going on in New England last year, a lot of distractions, and certainly Perryman got caught up in them. He's been with a couple of teams, Minnesota and Dallas, and now he's settled here in Denver, and maybe he's settled down.
He was part of that Lisa Olson incident in Boston. Elway dodges a couple of rushers and sets sail upfield. He has a first down as he dives to the 50-yard line. Scrambling ability of John Elway, which was mentioned by several Charger defenders yesterday.
Sure, Joe Phillips said someone has to stay at home and spy Elway. Good coverage downfield by the Chargers, but here's that extra dimension that John Elway gives you, the ability to pull that ball down, take it upfield.
Elway, the only NFL player to pass for over 3,000 yards and rush for over 200 in 6 straight seasons. First down, Broncos at midfield. Across the middle and complete to Green. Green has a 6-yard gain into Charger territory, tackled by Plummer and Seau.
I like John Elway's patience. On first down a play or two ago, he tried to get to Clarence Kay. On first down this time, he dumps it off to Green. That's because the Chargers are dropping their linebackers a little deeper and forcing Elway to throw underneath. So Elway says, thank you very much. I will take the short completion.
2nd and 4. Clock shows 3:25 left in the first half. Chargers leading 6-3. There it is. Looking for Natil and too long. Gil Bird defending the Teal as Elway went down in the teeth of that Charger rush. Bert Grossman got in on Elway.
Well, I tell you, John Elway's picking on Gil Bird back here, but look how deep Bird is on the right side of your screen. You see that there's no way Young's going to run by him. He gets about equal to him, but Bird's in good shape back there in the secondary.
Gil Bird is maybe not the best guy to pick on with 34 career interceptions. 7th among active players in the NFL. The injured Charger is the rookie from Alabama, George Thornton, second-round draft choice, a defensive lineman for the Chargers. Former All-SEC performer with the Crimson Tide, who was two-year starter at Bama.
Thunder and Thornton, he comes in at 300 pounds. He gives the Chargers some strength up front, and he's got some good quickness, too.
Well, tonight it's real-life deep-sea adventures of Mark and Brian when they come face-to-face with the jaws of death in a dive into a shark tank. Then an eerie update, kids who can hear the thoughts of dogs. One of the weirdest new shows of the season. That's Erie, Indiana.
Oh, I like that idea.
Then we'll see James Garner, man of the people, and Robert Guillaume in Pacific Station. Then Martin Sheen, a man fighting for his son's life in the NBC world premiere movie, Guilty Until Proven Innocent. All coming up tonight here on NBC. Thunder Thornton, huh? Did you just name him that, or is that?
I think that's apropos.
He grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers and Mean Joe Green fan. You could do worse than that. Here's our ITT 10-minute ticker. Buffalo still with a 7-0 lead at Tampa Bay. The Rams on a Del Pino touchdown run, 7-3. And here's the correct score in that Seattle-Kansas City game. Steve DeBerg hit Tim Barnett for 18 yards. The first NFL touchdown for Barnett. And the Chiefs blanking the Seahawks 10-0. Steve Sewell, the only setback now. 4 wide receivers. Young, Natil, Jackson, and Barry Johnson in for the Broncos. It's 3rd and 4. Elway in the shotgun. Complete for the first down. Michael Young makes the catch. Donald Frank is there. Second catch of the day for Young, the Broncos' leading receiver. And Young told us yesterday he was having his best season, no longer just a third down specialist.
No, he's getting a lot of action. He broke inside of Donald Frank that time, and Elway delivered. Young likes the action he's getting out there. He says it's wearing him down a little bit more. He's probably considered an old-timer now at the age of 29. But he's getting the action. I haven't seen him drop a ball in the last 3 games or so. He has excellent hands.
Career high 7 catches a week ago against the Seahawks. First down Broncos. They trail 6-3. Elway. Diving catch by Shannon Sharp. Sharp went downstairs to get that one at the 15, then was covered by Stanley Richard.
Man, this is some catch by Shannon Sharp. Elway puts the ball between 2 defenders. Sharp gets his right hand up there and makes one whale of a catch.
2-minute warning.
Well, folks, we have 2 angles of this last catch by Shannon Sharp, or was it a catch? Here you see one angle of it. We can't really tell if the ball hits the ground, but take a look at this angle. I don't believe he really has possession of it. Watch, here's the ball. Boom, does that ball hit the ground? Ooh.
Instant replay reviewed the play. The play stands as called. First down.
Well, I guess the only thing they could have figured with instant replay is it wasn't conclusive enough. They couldn't tell for sure had that ball hit the ground.
So Sharp is credited with the catch, and the Broncos now with a first down inside the 20 of the Chargers. It's a 17-yard line. Elway, wide open is Mark Jackson. Jackson's 3rd catch of the game, and he's inside the 10. Just about a 9-yard gain. Martin Bayless finally tracked him down as the clock continues to roll.
John Elway is sharp, Tom. I mean, he's picking the right receivers to go to. Sure, he got a great catch the last time from Sterling Sharp. Shannon Sharp. Sterling Shannon's brother, isn't it?
Sure is.
Up at Green Bay, sure. But Elway's playing awful well this year.
And he has the Broncos knocking on the door for a go-ahead touchdown. Gaston Green, excuse me, and Green is to the 5, tackled by Plummer.
Well, this is the area of the field that the Broncos want to get a touchdown, the going-in area, and this is where Dan Reeves will take over with the play calling because he feels with the extra substitutions and the variety of formations that they use in these going-in short yardage situations, he needs to help Elway. And the way it looks, I think he's right.
First and goal from the 6 for the Broncos. Threw it away as Clarence Kay was standing absolutely all by himself.
I don't think he wanted to throw that one away. It just got away from John Elway. It's his third overthrow when he's had open receivers. Here he'll take a look at that right foot. Maybe it slipped. Oh, what have I done?
There wasn't a defender within 5 yards of Clarence Kay. Inside the 20 on 11 possessions. They've come away with points 10 times. 37 seconds left. 6-3 Chargers. Elway rifled it perhaps too hard off the pads of Robert Perryman. What do you think? Did he need a little more touch on it?
I think that's a catch that Perryman has to make. Maybe the ball was a little behind Perryman, and Perryman didn't get his body around enough on it. But he's supposed to make that catch. I mean, that's a real pass that should be handled by Robert Perryman.
So now 3rd and goal for the Broncos. Ball at the 6-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Young, Nateel, Jackson, and Johnson. Steve Sewell, the only setback next to Elway in the shotgun. 2 wides to either side. Shovel pass and incomplete. Intended for Sewell.
Well, that was Leslie O'Neal again, Tom. I'll tell you, Leslie O'Neal got in there and disrupted that play. That was going to be the old Utah or shuffle pass to Sewell. Sewell saw Leslie O'Neal come across the line. Sewell didn't even get his head around in time to look for the pass. That was Leslie O'Neal fouling up that play.
Pretty good defense by the Chargers in the shadow of their own goal. So Treadwell on 4th down will attempt to tie the game with 31 seconds left in the opening half. 34-yarder. Treadwell's first attempt was good. About 23 yards here. And the chip shot field goal is good. Well, the Broncos drive down the field but have to settle for the field goal by Treadwell. And now with 27 seconds left in the opening half, we're tied at 6. Don't forget at halftime, the Domino Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Messrs. Costas, Simpson, and McDonough to take you through all the scores and highlights. Coming up just shortly here.
You know, Tom, if San Diego gets decent field position, I'd say 25-yard line, maybe 30. I would try and take it downfield. That's a good-looking crew, huh, that NFL Live group?
I don't know.
They fight each other trying to get to that makeup table every day, too, boy. They get some makeup put on. Bill Parcells, he's not used to getting the makeup put on, just the eye black for game day. But I can see John Freeze going downtown. You know, there are 27 seconds left in this half. Why not try to hit the 50-yard, 60-yard pass downfield? So what if it is intercepted? Denver's going to have the ball maybe at the 40-yard line or so with very little time left to get on the board. I'd love to see San Diego try to make a big completion.
I think that's probably why you haven't coached.
Yeah, you're probably right. They may run a little draw play or a little screen, something up the middle.
Treadwell with a sort of a squib kick. Picked up by Nate Lewis finally. Nowhere to go. Lewis down at the 15, and a flag comes flying. It might have been a face mask. Jeff Mills downfield to make the tackle. Did he get him by the mask? Yep.
Well, it'll be a difference here. We'll see if it's a 5-yard penalty or a 15-yard penalty.
5-yard face mask. Number 52 of the kicking team.
All right, Jeff Mills, number 52, right here in the center of the screen, gets his right hand up around the head, and I don't see him grab the face mask. It looked like he had a hold of that jersey, but he gets called for it nevertheless. 21 seconds left. I would still go downtown with a couple of long ones.
No way.
I think you're right, Tom.
21 seconds left, as you see. We're 6-6 at Mile High Stadium. The Chargers some 8, 9-point underdogs. Ronnie Harmon, flag down as Harmon, ducking and diving, gets about 8 yards out of it before Mike Kroll spins him down. penalty, probably against the Chargers, considering the position of the flag.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10 yards, still first down.
Well, Harry Swain gets called for the hold right there in front of you, folks. You see him. He's kind of bringing down Simon Fletcher with a tackle. I certainly look for the San Diego Chargers now with 13 seconds left to run something safe. I don't even know why you'd want to hand the ball off now, you know. Yeah, don't even take a chance on the handoff, Coach Henning. I mean, there are 13 seconds left. You try to get out of this half right now with a tie.
With only 13 seconds left, that's probably all academic. Denver could call a timeout, but it's only second down, and so San Diego can kill the clock without giving the ball up. Well, Henning was talking about his young quarterback, John Freeze, and he said, Dan Henning did, that back in the summer and in minicamp, he thought there was no way that Freeze could be beating out Billy Joe Tolliver. But Tolliver had such a thing about the fans. He thought the fans weren't for him. He thought the owner wasn't for him, and didn't perform well in the preseason, and John Freeze did. And Henning said he became convinced that Tolliver was expendable and that John Freeze should be the man. And Henning says he thinks he's smart. He's progressing every week, and sure, it's going to be rocky because Freeze has not much mobility and has trouble recognizing defenses, but he thinks he does have the potential.
I don't believe they called another timeout here. I don't know why.
Off to their worst start since the disastrous year of '75, when they won only 2 games after dropping their first 11.
Well, he didn't call timeout. They got a delay of game penalty, which really shouldn't change things here. What San Diego Coach Henning wants to do right now is make sure they get those extra 13 seconds off the clock without turning the ball over to Denver.
Ball spotted all the way back at the Charger 6-yard line. And off to Butts. Shaken up earlier, but back in the game. Boy, that was a slow starting clock. 8 seconds. And the timeout taken to stop it there. It'll be 3rd down.
3rd down, and how many timeouts do we have left for the Broncos? That's a major key here.
I believe that's 2 they have left after taking that one.
Well, if they have 2 left, we have 2nd down here. The Chargers going to run something once again, maybe a little wide, but they still should be able to get out of this half without having to snap the ball for the punt. Momentum, I don't think, is going to be on either side as they go in at halftime if nothing drastic changes here. I would think that if you're in Coach Henning's locker room, you have to feel pretty good about your position this first half. He's taken the crowd out of play. Dan Reeves got to be a little concerned because he's not getting the points on the board that I'm sure he feels he should have. Elway missed a few receivers that were open for touchdowns.
And the San Diego defense playing better this week than they have in previous encounters. Freeze has still struggled, missed a couple of open receivers, and the running game held in relative check. We're tied at 6. And off to Bernstein. There's the flag down. Remember, the half can't end on a defensive penalty. 2 seconds left. Bernstein tackled by Keith Traylor. Holding call against San Diego. Well, that means they get the down over, although Denver will probably decline it, making it 4th down.
Well, there are just 2 seconds left once again. All Coach Henning has to have happen is let Courtney Hall center the ball back to John Freeze and let him take a step or 2 back and get on a knee, and they'll be out of this half. Certainly wouldn't get in punt formation.
Holding, 89 offense, penalty declined, 3rd down.
Well, it's 3rd down. How about that? We've had so many penalties and breaks in action here. It's easy to lose track of the downs. You check out Walker holding. I don't see the hold there, but I'm sure the official was right. Heck, they hardly ever miss.
Very diplomatic today, especially considering your performance the last couple of weeks.
Not my performance, buddy. Those guys in the shirts, the stripes.
Bernstein won the last play of the half. So the San Diego Chargers do finally successfully kill the clock to end the first half of play. It's been a battle of the kickers, a field goal battle between Henning's Chargers and Reeves' Broncos in the first half of play at Mile High Stadium, as Treadwell and Carney have traded field goals and we're 6-6. We'll be back for halftime activities after these messages from your local station.